It's week 12. Santa's coming soon with an elf. Elf.
Nah, that's
Elf.
That's
This was
All right. It's week 12. Let's stack these trophies on a shelf.
okay.
Okay.
That's a little better.
right.
There, we're a month early, but getting there.
Soon. That's what we're trying to help them do with our week 12 starts and sits of the week. We're trying to help them stack trophies on their shelves.
That is, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Week 12 is the most important week of the
What do we
season
got?
so
Like,
far.
It's crunch week. It's crunch week, fellas.
Every week is the most important week, I guess, at this point. Yeah. We got playoffs in 2 weeks, right? Playoffs
Yeah,
start
week
in
14.
2 or 3 weeks. So
We also got Ortiz here.
Hi, I'm Ortiz.
We have Ortiz here. Welcome back to the BallGame podcast.
yeah.
I guess before we get into the start sits, like we just said, it's crunch time. It's, a lot of us are fighting for our lives. Obviously, we're all in so many leagues. So even if we think we're the best, we're not going to be at the top of every single league. Like I'm fighting for my life in a lot of leagues. So
I'm
How
dead
many
in the
is
water.
everyone
I was about
in
to say,
right
let's do like a little bit of a check-in. Like where does everyone stand?
Yeah, where is everyone at right now?
What's like your most
Kinda
important
curious.
matchup of the week? Like what's that team looking like where you feel like you don't know? I know I'll start it off with me and Ortiz. We're on a 2-game win streak now. We're on a
Yes,
2-game
we
win
are.
streak on the team we share. We started 2-7. Our team is nice. It's a 10-man league. We have Kyler, Jameer, Josh Jacobs, CD, DK. It's 3 wide receiver. We're starting Ladd. Sam Laporte is our tight end, and we're flexing J.K. Dobbins, but we have Chase Brown, Brian Thomas, and Tank Dell on our bench. Like
We
we've
got
an
2 Chargers in there. Okay.
we've an insane team. Well, we have buys. We have Chase Brown, Brian Thomas on buy. Tank Dell we don't really trust. So
Yeah, I wouldn't trust Tank this week either.
yeah. But our team's nice. We have a better team than 4-7. Like we do.
No,
the
that
team's
is
good.
better than
And
4
we
and
were
7.
we were in dead last, so like the entire league so far. Cause we started off horrible. We started off what 0-4.
Yeah, this is the
4?
first week of the season that we're not in last place. We're in 8th place
Wow.
now.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 and 3 since the bad start. That's so you guys are on the comeback.
Yeah.
On the comeback. So
Every game counts.
There's 2 guys.
are we close in the
There's
playoffs?
2 guys
or-
ahead of us that are 5-6. It's 6
Okay,
teams
so a
make
game
the
back.
playoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the guys ahead of number 6 and 5.
Do
So
you have
it's
the
real close.
point
Close race.
tiebreaker?
No.
Currently,
We have it on the one guy in 7, but the guy in 6 we're off by 12 points.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So we're right
11
there.
points actually.
Okay,
Like
so we're right
11
there.
point.
All right, awesome. So that's the biggest one for you guys right now.
We're sweating that one. We need it in that one.
most
What
of
else
the
we got?
leagues, I'm
We're
pretty
all in
sure.
BTB together,
Yes.
so we know how that is. This one
90%
league,
of the league is fucking 5 and 6 right now.
and
Yeah,
it's just insane because this is, I don't know about you guys, like this is my longest running league.
Yeah.
Like I've been in
I
leagues
left for a
before
year,
that,
so-
but this is, I mean, we're on what? Like, I mean, there was a few years before you got
Yeah.
there. This is like year 6 or something. Like we've been doing this league. Mangini used to be in this
Yeah.
league.
The Lav League is my longest. It's been running for 8 years, I want to
That's
say.
crazy.
8 years
Yeah,
now,
but this
so-
BTB league, it's been around for a while. There's been some crazy finishes. You guys are both champions of BTB.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
You guys are
Yes,
both
we are.
champions of BTB.
Oh, this past week. Oh, this
Yeah,
past
this is-
week.
This
I
is one
get-
of my biggest matchups, just for pride. I'm in last place in BTB now, but I'm at 4-7. Everyone else, like we said, is 5-6.
Yep.
So I'm
Yeah.
1 game back.
I've talked about this team on the show many times. This is my team that I have Rasheed Rice and Chris Godwin. They're still on my IR they're coming for the ride. Like now it's about the vibes because since Chris Godwin went out, I've won 4 straight. I've been complaining all year because I've had the second most points all year. Now I have the most points in the league on the season. And I knew, like, I didn't make any moves. I was trying to make moves. No one is really making moves here. But I stayed firm and trusted my guys. And we have a little bit of a cushion. I mean, you're 5-6, you're 4-7. I'm in 4th place at 6-5.
You
But
got me by like 100 points right now.
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes that are 5-6, and then Trunks and Ortiz are both 4-7.
The league is
Like
so
I have
close.
a 2-game lead. Like I feel okay, but also, I mean, I've got screwed in this league. I mean, it all started when my trade got vetoed. I've had
What trade was that?
my Dalvin Cook trade for 2 scrubs, a running back, a wide receiver, and the Redskins defense, the Commanders defense.
Every game that I play for the rest of the season in BTB is against 5 and 6 teams, except for this week against Trunks. So
Yeah, so, I mean, this
very,
is
very important for me.
my team's finally back at full strength since like week 4, I think, because Nico Collins was out for a while, since week 3. I started off the season real good.
You have Waddle here too, right?
Yeah,
Waddle was
and Waddle was
Yeah, Waddle's working.
Waddle, yeah, that was a whiff. I mean, that was my guy. So
I loved Waddle too coming into the year, but
I don't have him anywhere. I have him in a few best ball leagues, but I drafted him in one redraft league, but I traded him. Ryan Flynn's league. That's a league I've been in for a while. I'm pretty much out, 4-7, but I don't think I could do it. Dynasties, our dynasty, obviously. I'm tanking the other dynasty. I lost to Joe Cruz, so I think I'm officially eliminated.
but locked into the number 2 pick in our league and likely getting the number 1 in the other league. So
Yeah, and it makes my pick worse. I wanted to make a run. Like, it's the first year. Anything could happen. I wanted to
You
try.
want to win the first year.
wait, you
know?
traded
It's the
for
first
Garrett,
year.
right?
Yeah, and he sold me last week. I lost to Joe Cruz by like 10 points. I also started not 10 points, but I had Jake Ferguson go out early
Bro,
too.
don't
which,
even get me started
yeah, I know.
on that.
But I also started the Falcons defense over the Broncos defense, and that was a 10-point swing right there.
Yep.
I didn't really believe in Bo Nix, but that was silly. Like I knew Bo was good, but I didn't think he was. I thought the Falcons were going to dominate that game.
Bo can ball.
Yeah.
Bo can ball.
But other than that, my last update, I'm still in first place in one of my best ball mania leagues. I have like an 100-point lead now. My team cooked again, bro. My team is nice. I
All my
feel it
teams
like,
in the underdogs suck. All of them, every single one, not good.
bro. I'll read this team before you guys give your final.
As you pull that up real quick in the BTB league, of course, every game's a must-win right now. I have to start Wandale Robinson, Jalen Warren, and Luke Schoonmaker this week.
That's tough.
So,
Schoonmaker.
so it's fun times.
Jalen Warren's rough.
Yeah, it is.
I have Jaden, Tua. My running backs are James Cook, Kamara, Chase Brown, Chuba. I have Jamar, DK, Mike Evans, Keon Coleman. I have Wandale, who gave me a few weeks. And then my tight ends are Mark Andrews and Jonnu.
Okay,
This is the
that's
team.
a good team. That's a real good team. Jonnu's balling.
Jonnu's balling. Mark Andrews ended up being a fine pick. He was a little bit of a reach.
He's giving you weeks, though. That's all that mattered. That's the thing. So,
especially in best ball.
yeah.
You
So,
know what I mean? Like, I just need you to have a few weeks.
Ortiz, what's your most important league right now outside of the 2 that we mentioned? Any others that?
One league that I'm really sad about is Kevin's league, the Cream Paisan League. It's officially eliminated.
Really?
Yeah, after my back-to-back years of winning
I
the
saw
title.
the trade that you tried making in that league too. It was like a really bad one where like the other team got like fleeced you. Did it get vetoed or something?
Oh, that's the one in Luch League. I
That's
think.
the Luch
Yeah.
league.
Yeah, that was.
So, we were recording that night you made that trade. You traded Smitty for Tyrone Tracy and Sutton?
And Sutton, yeah. I sent the trade 23 days prior to the acceptance.
Wait.
And
You were getting Tracy and Sutton?
No, I was
He
getting
was getting
Smitty.
Tracy and Sutton. Yeah, okay. And Smitty's been hurt and not good recently.
Yeah.
So, and Sutton and Tracy
Have been playing good
are
football.
balling.
Yeah.
Well, we recorded that night. I came down here and I said to you guys, I know I said it to Tom. I don't know if you were like upstairs or here or not, but I was like, I feel like there becomes a point where the last place team shouldn't be allowed to make a trade.
trades, yeah.
And especially when it's one like that where it was like you didn't even know what was happening.
No,
You know what I
I
mean?
had
Like,
no
because you weren't
idea.
paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't care about the league that much because you're in how many other leagues, so you're not really paying attention as much.
I'd
So
say that
it's like-
point is when you're like mathematically eliminated.
Like, I think you could still get in, but it would take a miracle.
That league, I think I could win out in that league. With McCaff back, I think I could
You'd
win
have
out
to
in
win
that
out,
league.
and people would have to lose
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey,
like-
anything's possible.
Yeah,
Anything is
100%,
possible, but I have to
100%.
win out, and I think I could. Like, let's see.
I'll say this.
I mean, if Cortland Sutton's really gonna be that guy, then I have a new wide receiver.
I really do think he is really going to be that guy. He hasn't had any less than like 9 targets over the last 4 weeks.
And then I could really rely on Jameson Williams
Nuts.
to be a 2.
I have a question.
I don't know about that one.
JMO gives you weeks.
He's a fuck.
In Sleeper, is there a setting where you could make the default like trade proposal go away sooner?
So when you offer a trade, there are options at like the bottom where it's like you could put a time limit on how long that trade lasts. And then it like pops up as a notification to the other person where it's like, I don't know if it says this exactly, but I think it says, boom. You have an explosive trade offer that lasts for 24 hours or something.
I've never seen that.
So
I know Dino is be sending trades, but he just like manually takes them
we
away.
might not have it, but in the other dynasty league that I'm in with Matt Miller, one of the NFL draft scouts, it's you could do it, and everyone in that league when they send trades does that. Like,
How are you doing in that league? You never talk about that
so
league.
I don't talk about it at all, but like my team is super young, so like I'll throw out the squad. So my quarterbacks are Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. I had the top 2 picks in the draft this past year.
You drafted this year, or
Yes.
like
So,
your
like
startup was this year? Or
no, the startup was the year prior.
Okay, so you're 2
And
years.
of course, I made the massive mistake of my first pick being Justin Fields.
In the first round?
Yeah. Like, I had the 12th pick, and I took Justin Fields, which obviously didn't age well. Gave me some good games this year, and I still have him on the roster. But, yeah, those are the 2. Those are the pillars of the team, obviously. And then at running back, the young guys that I have, it's Brees. I have Tyrone Tracy. Najee Harris is on the roster, too. And then my receivers primarily are just DJ Moore and Garrett Wilson with like a million young guys wrapped in, like Keon.
A lot of picks?
So I have my first and third this year. But my tight end, Sam Laporta, which let me down like crazy this year. But my team's young. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. Like I have so many guys go either way right now.
Yeah.
And nobody makes trades.
How are you
bro.
doing? Like, are you?
So I'm 3-8 with the 5th most points scored in the league.
What place are you in?
Wow.
That
10th.
sucks. It's 12 dudes.
Yeah. So I'm
You'll
getting
get
the
a
3rd
better
overall.
pick. I was
pick.
about to say, at least.
But I don't even know who I'm taking because it's a top 2 draft, and unless someone reaches on a quarterback, I mean, shit. If Cam Ward ends up in a good
depends
spot, I
where
may
dudes-
just take a quarterback.
Depends where
trade.
dudes go, but
But
you could always trade back, maybe. Well, you just said no one makes trades in this league.
no, bro. Everyone's so unwilling, man. Everyone's so unwilling for the most part.
Are there some
So,
like God squads,
there's one team
like in our league,
that-
like your team?
Nah, not like mine.
Okay.
Nothing like mine. It's a very well-rounded league that doesn't have any teams that are like way too OP. But my best fantasy team outside of Dynasty, obviously, that's ad nauseum. I'm 10-1 in the Lav League, which is pretty fire. Obviously,
I feel
in
like you were
first place
complaining about this league for that long.
because
You had no
going into
running
the
backs?
season, I had no running backs.
Who are your running backs now?
Joe Mixon, Chase Brown, and Rico Dowdle. It's still not
Sounds
great.
Hey,
Chase
running
Brown
backs.
is the fucking goat.
He saved my life, bro.
Yo, Chase Brown's
He
the
really
goat,
is,
bro.
man.
Chase Brown is dead ass
my
saved
God.
my life.
And I see everyone tweeting about him too. Like, you're getting that for the rest of the year.
I hope so.
He feels so safe right now.
I really hope.
I-
I really hope you're right.
It's just like, who else is taking touches on that team right now?
It ain't gonna be Khalil Herbert.
That's
at
what I'm
this point.
saying. And like, he's getting insane workload right. Like,
He-
he's
he
getting
is.
like
25 touches a game, 30 touches
since
a game.
Zach Moss went out, he's getting like the most work in the NFL. Like,
It's nuts.
It's like Christian McCaffrey level usage.
Yes,
like, it's
bro.
nuts.
Yes, it's
Yeah, he's
actually
been
wild.
sick. I just don't know why it would stop. So yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, and then my receivers are the strong part of my team right now. I had Rashee Rice. Keep this in mind as well. My receivers are Justin Jefferson, Amon Ra, and then I have in my flex spots Jaden Reed and Cortland Sutton. So it's a really good team. Like, and then Brock Bowers is my tight end. So like, it's a squad. I picked up Justin
Yeah,
Herbert a
very
couple weeks ago. I'm getting
He's
lucky
been
that
cool.
he's balling out right now too. So and Bo Nix, those are my 2 quarterbacks. So yeah, it's a good team, but I don't feel good about it come playoff time. I really don't. They're bound to let me down. They're bound to let me
That's
down.
how,
That's what happened.
bro. You know that's how I never won a fantasy championship. I'm doing good in some leagues, but like I know I'm gonna be let down in most. Maybe this is the year I get lucky and win one, but like I'm in so many leagues that it's just so much heartbreak that's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
all
I
you
don't-
need is opportunity.
I don't
make the
feel
playoffs. and you're
overly,
good.
bro. Me and Jason are on a 9-game win streak in Lucha's league. We just been cooking. I drafted the team. He wasn't around for the draft. He hit on some good waiver pulls like Darnell Mooney. We hit on like late picks in the draft. We whiffed on some picks. We had Brandon Ayuk. We
Oh.
dropped him.
Yeah.
We drafted Raheem Mostert pretty early. He's been nothing.
I thought he was going to be so good this year too.
But we have Bijan. We have Chuba, I think, in this league.
Okay, that's fire.
We have Chuba. We have Puka. Darnell Mooney, obviously. I said Brian Thomas.
Chuba, the best pick in fantasy.
Hopefully it continues, man. Jonathan
Probably.
Brooks is back and playing.
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that.
I'm like, I know it's the Panthers. I'm so locked in on watching that game because in Fun Dynasty, I have both of them.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
Just to see what the usage is going to. But this is not even. I don't even think it's going to be that telling. Because it's Brooks' first
I just
want
to see how he
And they're
looks.
also playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, but I
Yes.
want to see how he looks, bro. Like, if he looks fast or slow, if he looks elusive. Like, I'm not looking at his box score. I want to see.
You want to see what he does.
I want to see what he just looks like on an NFL field. You know what I mean?
You know, I also wouldn't put too much stock into it just necessarily.
No, yeah, not 100%.
Like
It's
first
one
game back.
yeah.
But the scary part is if he looks explosive.
They held him out longer than
They needed to.
what was. I don't know if it's what they needed to, but longer than what was anticipated. So like,
which a lot of people are happy about. Though,
that's what I'm saying.
No reason
I
to
feel
rush
like
him
the
back.
thought is he's going to be 100%. So
I'm looking forward to that.
Dean had. I don't think he has him anymore, but Dean had Gibbs and Monty for a little bit in our dynasty, and like I'm not saying they're going to be Gibbs and Monty, but like if they're both serviceable running backs, you take that sometimes. You know what I mean?
They like not this year.
Jonathan Brooks is a dog. Like his college tape is nuts.
Yes.
So like if he's healthy, I think he's going to be a really good player, and I think. What do the kids be saying? Two legends could coexist. I think him and Chuba could. Chuba like you'd be more
Kamara,
concerned about Chuba than.
Well, they drafted
Jonathan
Brooks
Brooks.
so high.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So. But they just extended Chuba.
I know, but like
I
you
don't
watched
even
him give Miles Sanders a bag, and then he
let him
fell
go,
off.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he fell off a cliff. So it's like that could always happen. I don't know.
Don't know what they're gonna.
All
do.
right, we rambled for a long time. That was a good ramble, Sesh. Though I feel like you know.
I do want to ask one more quick thing about fantasy.
Shoot.
How's everyone's ball game league team doing? The 32-man.
Come on, man.
Bro, I had so many bye weeks this week. It was ridiculous. I had a bye week in my starting lineup. It was that bad, dude.
Yo,
I put up 32 points.
I got bent over by Tom.
Did you really?
Yo, I got
he
put up like 140, bro.
That may have been like the most ever.
Bro, he had Taysom, he had A-Rich, he has H-N. He bent me over, dude. It was bad.
I'm actually gonna go
He put
look.
up 146.
I'm actually gonna go look see if that was the most points ever.
I have the third
Probably
most
up there.
points. I'm in 9th place. Like what is this? It's ridiculous.
I hope you get in. I feel like I'm a lock, but shit.
Joe
anything
Lepore
can
was texting me and said
Joe
how he's
Lepore's the goat.
dominating
Wow.
in our,
Bro,
in our
he-
league. I have more fucking points than him, and I'm like
Joe Lepore has
6 and 5.
like the least amount of points allowed. His defense is insane. He's only allowed 620 points.
This is ridiculous.
There you go, guys. We're going up against Joe this week.
He's on a
Everyone
10
fall off.
He's on a 10-game win
Yeah,
streak,
no,
bro.
he's getting the fantasy
Getting a
gods are
little
on his
lucky,
side.
getting a little
Fantasy
lucky
gods
over
are on his
here.
side.
So I'm looking at
over here.
the all-time weekly high scores. That performance from Tom was actually the second highest of all time.
Who had the first highest?
His big brother, Clem.
Clem?
Wow.
Yeah,
What did
last
Clem
year
have?
he had 156.
I think I put one up a couple
Wow.
weeks ago that's in like the top 6-ish.
You're in the top 7. You're
Okay.
in the top 8 twice. You have 7 and 8.
Let's
Both
go,
this
man. Let's go. Let's go. I'm here.
Chris, you're in the top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
And
all right.
I love Sleeper. It shows the all-time records and everything.
Sleeper
yeah.
is very
Bro,
good.
Joe Lepore is 22 and 3.
That's Dean.
Jesus.
That's Dean. That's insane. That's actually nuts. He's lost 3 games in 2 years.
That's
In a best ball
wild.
32-man league.
Yo, the fantasy gods like
Yo.
good drafting Joe Lepore, but holy moly, the
But
fantasy
no,
gods love
This
him.
is one of the greatest runs like ever, like for a regular season.
And he's a runner-up too. Like it's a true from last year. He lost in the
Yeah.
ship. This is a true vengeance story.
Were you about to say that's Dean's only claim to fame in our dynasty?
No,
league?
I was gonna
'Cause
say.
he doesn't.
Well,
shut
yeah,
the
but
fuck
I
up
was gonna
about
say
that.
that's Steen's favorite pastime in the off season is to scroll through the sleeper history and just
and just violate.
brag about anything
And brag about-
his points in
brag
dynasty. His
Yo, brag about having the best record in Dynasty without a single championship.
it always
win. So,
ends with normally when he really gets into it. Why did I trade Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
Like when we look at the past trades and stuff, because like in that league, dudes have been passed around. Like we made so many trades in that league. So
I don't. David Montgomery has been traded like probably 7 or 8 times.
there's some like all-time legends.
No
like
joke.
Joe Mixon got traded a bunch, and Joe Mixon's still doing. Like Joe Mixon
Yeah.
was one of the studs. I
Joe
remember
Mixon
like
never
when
really, like,
Joe
fell
Mixon
off.
was on my team. Like Joe
when
Mixon.
you had McCaff, Derrick Henry, Mixon. Yeah, I remember that trio.
That was the
some
time.
shit, dude. That was some shit.
And then I replaced Mixon with Josh Jacobs. The year Josh Jacobs was the RB4.
Look at you, man.
Yeah, I lost. I traded for Cooper Kupp. I had Tyreek Hill. I ended up with CeeDee Lamb and traded CeeDee Lamb and Bijan for Cooper Kupp because that was your pick that year, and I traded it to Dean. And
then you made the deal that Dean wouldn't trade me my pick.
Part of me and Dean's deal was like you can't trade Sully back his pick and let him tank. And
like a day later,
Dean traded him the pick.
Wow.
I forgot what for.
That
Was it
altered
in
the
the
league
contract
forever.
clause?
Not like the contract laws, but we said like I made that clear. Like, yo, I will only trade you this pick if you promise me you won't give it to Sully.
Wow.
I've made some real ridiculous trades.
Like we knew he wanted
Waller.
to. He won the ship, and he said to us in the chat millions of times, "I'm tearing it down and building a true dynasty. I'm Thanos. I'm inevitable."
And I
like,
was so right.
Like I knew I had the pick, so like I knew I had control
you
of
were
it.
like, there
but
is no Thanos.
That's not even what the first overall pick was, though.
yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. You know who tanked me to the first overall pick? It was fucking DeShields' team. DeShields' team tanked me to the first pick. The second pick was my pick, which I traded like hop for. And got that from Dean and then flipped the second pick and another first back to Dean to get CeeDee Lamb. So
He really remembers his run to greatness.
Bro,
Bro,
it was
That was like one
historical.
of the turning points of the league, bro. When I gave Dean Matty J's pick.
You
and then
also
Dean gave it back.
you also gave me 2 firsts for Darren Waller. I remember
But
that.
they weren't. Were they
And then
great?
he made a song.
first,
They were
though?
like mid-tier firsts.
Because I was winning those
Yeah,
2
yeah, you
years.
were,
You know
you
what I mean? Like I was.
I gave up Darren Waller for 2 firsts, and I gave up Cordell Patterson for a first and 2 seconds.
Wow.
So
Yeah, my biggest
legends there.
flaw is drafting Bryce Young. Like honestly, because that was the first year I tore it down, and that was my first pick.
I mean, who would have thought
That was like my first
not
round
seeing
pick
over
that I
your
ever
O-line
made.
would be a problem?
yeah, right.
Who would have thought?
Yo,
that?
I
we'll
mean,
bounce
Kyler
back.
makes it work.
We'll bounce back. Bryce
Yeah,
Young.
Kyler makes it work.
but yeah, it's tough. The first 2 years, he's 5'9". He's like, yeah, here's the tallest O line in the league.
Yeah,
He
Like,
looked
everyone's
good the
sick.
past 2 weeks going into the bye.
I almost wonder. This is going to be the
I
age-old
hope
question.
he turns it around.
The age-old question in our dynasty for me is going to be, was the pick really Brock Bowers or was it Jaden Daniels? That
Well, yeah, especially
is the
well,
question.
I mean, like, I feel like they're both.
Like Brock is the number 1 tight end in fantasy
Yeah, I
football right now.
kind of
Like,
wish I had Brock. Like, I feel like quarterbacks come
you could
more
figure
than
that out than
Yeah.
more than tight ends. Yeah, Jason.
No,
Pickles, shout out
I
to man.
wanted
Not like Jaden
Brock
Daniels,
Bowers.
though.
So like, I wanted
Yeah,
Brock
you
Bowers.
did.
Like, I would have drafted. I'm happy with Jaden Daniels, but like, I would have drafted Brock Bowers if
Thank
I had
God
the
I
choice to
drafted
do
him,
with
to
him.
be honest, because he's saved my team. So there it is.
Yeah, I'm a bounce back though. I got hella picks. I can't mess it up.
Make a trade with me next offseason, bro.
No, not trading with you no more.
I'm gonna get Genty one way or another from my cousin.
Oh, we know, Mr.
I'm gonna get him.
Man.
It's gonna happen. I don't know how, but I'll make it
Not
happen.
even.
I'll get Ted McMillan.
So see what
All right. It's like a 24-minute ramble sesh. So
I thought it was longer.
Wow.
I'm gonna put.
We love fantasy.
That was a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna put timestamps on this. So if you guys wanna, I can't go back in time and tell them. But if you guys didn't want to listen to this, there will be timestamps so that you could skip ahead.
Real
All right.
quick, also 2K. Congratulations to us. 2,000.
2K on YouTube. Yeah.
I saw that the other. I
2000.
saw that before actually.
Yeah.
2,000.
Shout out
2000.
to the Giants because
Shout
that
out.
made our channel popping a little bit. Shout out to the YouTube Shorts,
Shorts for sure.
algorithm for loving the which player would you rather have.
Yeah.
Shout
I
out
mean,
to all of you guys
Yes.
for
Shout
hitting
out
that
to all
little
of
red
you, man.
button
If
Yeah.
you keep
and not unhitting that little red
You
button.
keep liking, you keep subscribing, hit that bell, all that good stuff. Comment, please. Comments also really help the whole algorithm for us. So just keep it coming, guys. We appreciate the love.
Yeah, we try
just
to-
jumped. We just jumped
bad.
recently, so that was
Yeah,
big.
and we try to answer all comments. So if you guys like, I don't know, like don't be like scared to ask. Like I know you guys are playing fantasy football if you clicked on this video. So like, ask us questions. We'll try to give you our honest answer. We're not experts. We just play the game. Like we just have opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantasy football. Like sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
We've
It's
done
fantasy.
pretty well all season, to be quite honest with you, though.
We've done
pretty
solid.
decent with these. So yeah, I'll keep talking my shit in the TikTok comments.
Yeah. All right. Week 12 start sits. We're going to start at quarterback. You guys know how this goes. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Only a start for tight end, and that's that. Quarterback, I'm starting Jaden Daniels. the kid, he's due for a bounce back game. It's been rough for him since the injury. I don't have the exact splits in front of me, but his rushing attempts, his rushing yards, everything that made him so good in the first few weeks before the injury went down significantly since he got hurt. But they had a little bit of a mini bye this week. They had an early game, a Thursday night game last week. They got some extra rest, and he goes against the Cowboys. They've lost 2 straight, the Commanders. So, like, they're in a, like, my betting mind says they're in a prime bounce back spot. And the Cowboys defense is just Swiss cheese overall. They're falling apart mentally. Like, they're just not in a good spot right now. I think
They
this
ain't
is
built for it. That's the thing.
yeah. I
They're
think
not
this
built
is the
for
game
this.
where the Commanders' offense could put it on them. You know what I mean? Like a good amount of points.
I think both running backs are going to have really good games too, to be honest with you. So
indeed.
we're definitely going to see about that one. My start of the week, a guy that we just spoke about before, it's Bo Nix. He's arrived. He's fully arrived. The Sean Payton offense was a match made in heaven for this man, and as the season has progressed, he has only gotten better and better and better. He gets to face a weak Vegas secondary, a weak Vegas defense, so that's going to be a fun one. A lot of points probably put up on the board. Cortland Sutton seems to be the guy, and he's as good as he was just a few years ago. So we're turning the clock back for Sutton and turning the clock forward for Bo Nix. So it's the start.
I like that.
Yo, that was a bar. That was a
yeah,
bar.
that was hard.
Thanks, guys.
So with my starts and sits, how I do this is I look around all the fantasy leagues, the millions and millions of leagues that I'm in, and I see who people are starting, who people are sitting. I'm primarily in 10 to 12 man leagues, and I'm seeing a lot of people are benching Justin Herbert this week, and for that, I for some reason I don't know why, he's my start of the week.
Either.
He's for sure my start of the week. Like you said, he's been getting better and better as the season's been going on, and I think the offense around him is kind of finding their role. Everyone's kind of gelling into place. You don't need all the big names. I think all these undernamed receivers are kind of making a name for themselves now.
Yeah,
You watch our Chargers clip from the
I
last
was actually
pod?
about to plug
actually
it.
did
I
not.
was about to plug
Yeah,
it.
you
just
should
now.
watch that.
Dude, crazy clip.
We asked the question, who's the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC, and
Mr.
the
Bills,
Bills
guy
just
over
beat
here.
them. Like, it was a prime time to say the Bills. He folded and picked the Chargers.
I said the Bills are cursed. They can't beat the Chiefs. And I said the Chargers don't have that curse. They have Justin Herbert, and they have Jim Harbaugh. That's all I needed.
We were laughing at him for 30 minutes.
Doesn't matter.
Me and Tom.
It does not matter. And just wait till we do our top 5 clip out, too. That one's
Yeah.
going to be electric.
Yeah, it was the last pod was a good pod for all you guys and for you Ortiz. You should
I gotta give
listen
it
to
a
that
watch.
one. It was
We
one
were
of the
arguing a lot.
We
on that podcast.
halfway through, it was just me, Tom, and Matt. Pete was stuck at work, sadly, but
This fucking kid.
Nick was behind the camera. Halfway through, we asked him because he had the mic on over there. We asked him. We were like, "Yo, like, what do you think about this?" And the first thing he said was, "I don't know why I'm not on the couch today. Like, there's a spot." We were like, "Come on, like after this topic." Bro flipped the camera, sat there basically
He's
with
not in the pod.
Bro, cut himself out of the pod. I didn't think to get up and double check. I don't know what, like, how would he know if he's in the shot? Because he
Yeah.
has to sit. Like,
I didn't
Yeah,
think
he's
that.
not over there. He can't see.
because when me and him set up, because we always, when he's here, we take so long to set up, me and him, because we try and make sure everything's perfect. That shout out to Nick for always keeping us in check.
He's
Because
the man.
sometimes I want to rush everything and he just make sure it's perfect. But normally we double check the corners, but like we make Matt or Tom sit in the corner while we're back there looking at everything.
Yeah, kind of like
He just flipped the camera and sat and cut himself out.
Yeah,
the
we didn't
entire time.
plan for the third person, the fourth person to be on.
Yeah, I
So
know.
it is what it is. Like it
Yeah,
happens.
Reminds
legendary
me of
pod.
So yeah,
Yeah,
the
no.
clips that you're gonna see, his head is not in it. It's his body. His head is completely cut off.
It reminds me of one of the first pods that we had, and Gallo was there. Gallo goes, "Can I come on?" And we looked at it and we said, "No."
No.
And then we were asking him questions while he was sitting on the couch. We did a trivia. He won the trivia. It didn't count because he wasn't there.
Shout out the studio, man.
Yeah.
The OG studio, bro. Shout out Reflex.
Wow.
Green.
We are really rambling.
Yeah, we are. It's okay.
My
It's
bad.
all right. It
My
is what it
bad.
is. It is what it is.
Send us back with your quarterback said, Ortiz. The rest of this week could fly through. We're at 30 minutes. We only did our quarterback
And we
starts.
still have an NBA pod to record. Oh, boy.
So my sit of the week is going to be in a NFC North matchup. We got the Bears taking on the Vikings. I'm sitting Sam Darnold for this game. I think playing the Bears defense, I know, Chris, you touched on this a lot with quarterbacks playing the Bears. They don't allow points to quarterbacks. And it's week 12 now, and they're still doing the same thing. It's not a fluke anymore. It's how their defense is. I think there's going to be a very heavy rushing.
hairy rushing attack. So much hair.
So much hair. A lot of hair of that rush.
Aaron Jones do be having hair.
Aaron
though.
Jones it's a very hairy rushing attack.
He's got some nice facial hair, though.
They are Vikings.
They
It's very hairy rushing attack.
way to save your slip up. Nice.
Yeah, no, I still slipped up. It's fun.
It's okay. It happens
They
to
caught it
best
on the
of us.
camera if I just stood up.
It happens to the best of us. All right, so my quarterback sit of the week, it's Brock Purdy. He was dealing with some shoulder troubles this week. He threw today, didn't throw yesterday. Outside of that, he's going up against an opportunistic Green Bay defense that has progressively gotten worse as the season has gone on, I will say. But Purdy with an injury, Green Bay's defense, the Niners don't look the same, simply put. And the Packers have also allowed less than 14 points per game on average to quarterbacks, which is 8th best in the NFL. So there's that. Brock Purdy's the sit.
I'm running it back. My favorite.
Always.
My
I saw it in the chat.
My favorite play of the year. It really hasn't failed me yet. It hasn't failed me yet.
Jalen, go. Shit. Sorry.
It hasn't failed me yet. It's Anthony Richardson. I'm not fooled. That's what my note says. I am not fooled by Anthony Richardson. It is the Jets. The Jets are on their way to selling the team. Maybe relocating. Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
I'm not fooled. They play against the Lions. The Lions are allowing the 6th fewest points to quarterbacks per game. So, yeah, I'm running it back. It's my GOAT, Anthony Richardson. My GOAT is
Sit goat.
Yeah. Moving on to starts at the running back, I'm going to be short and sweet. I talked about it with Jaden Daniels. You mentioned it, Matty J. Brian Robinson. This is the same reasons for Jaden. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. The Cowboys' defense is in shambles. Prime bounce back for the Commanders, and B-Rob's getting healthier. Excuse me. He missed a few games because he was hurt. I don't know why it took me so long to get to that. I thought he missed a few games because he was hurt. He played last week, but again, a little mini bye, so everyone should be going into this game full strength. So, B-Rob.
I'll be honest, I just have a hunch on this one, and he's playing against my Giants. It's Rachaad White. There's nothing to it. He's been awesome recently, and if you're not already starting him, you should be putting him back in your lineups. Still getting around 60% of snaps. He's not irrelevant. He always catches the football, and that's just that. I mean, the Giants are poverty. We suck. So start Rachaad White. Probably going to be a field day for the Bucs.
No, speaking of the Giants, my running back start of the week is actually Tyrone Tracy.
Love that, man.
I mean, I think with Tommy Cutlets out there is going to kind of revitalize you guys for a week, kind of like how he did the first time he came around.
I hope not.
I mean, yeah, he's going to – I think you guys are still going to get the shit kicked out of you.
He's
But I think Tommy Cutlets is going to, throw for touchdowns like Daniel Jones. It's going to be pretty helpful. I think the balanced attack is going to open up the field.
I feel like this game has a script of not a shootout, but an over on the points. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Bucs are going to win pretty handily, but I kind of agree with
it'll be over on the points
like,
because we'll get blown out.
I feel like I feel like the Giants still might be able to score some, maybe an early touchdown and maybe a garbage time touchdown.
Like, my script in my head is it's 28-7. It's start of the second half. Giants get the ball, they come out, they score. 28-14. They kick a field goal. Buccaneers kick a field goal. They come down, they score again, 31-21, and then just no more scoring from that point on, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tracy in general, and Tracy's a legitimate weekly start.
He should be, but like I said, I go through all my. I see he's either in the flex, which I guess is starting, but or on the bench.
Yeah.
which is,
Yeah, people are
it's iffy.
definitely
You
weary.
want to go
about
for the bubble guys. That's
Yeah.
usually what I try to like target. The guys that you're considering, or the guys in terms of like an actual question mark. But bro, Jalen Warren's running hard tonight, bro. I love to see it.
Yeah, I need Najee to get 5 yards every quarter.
Has he even touched the ball?
He has 1 carry for like -2 yards for such of
Attaboy.
the game.
So you need 7 yards for this.
Yeah, here we go, baby. My running back sit of the week. Oh wait, you have your sit. Send it back.
Send it back on my sit. So it's pretty funny that we mentioned all this. Yeah, guys are cemented in, blah, blah, blah. My sit of the week is Kyron Williams.
Yo,
I think playing.
I thought about it. I thought
yeah,
about it.
I think playing
See what you
game
did.
manager in Nick Sirianni and the Eagles, I think the script is just going to be the Eagles just going to have the ball way more than the Rams are, and especially ahead in the game. Simply put, I think Kyron gets the receiving work, but how often are you going to throw to your screen guy when you're down by 3 scores, you know?
Yeah, he's fallen off too.
He really has. The touchdowns have not come as often recently, but
You just can't like.
You're not benching Kyron.
It's hard to
but-
sit him, but it's
what you're implying is don't expect the best.
I think it's a
the
dud
best
week.
week.
I
Yo,
think
I
it's going to be a
got-
dud week.
In one of my leagues, I got off Kyron for Brees Hall.
Okay.
I traded Pickens and Kyron
Brees
for
was ass for a little
Brees
while.
and Malik Neighbors. I just did it for, like last week was my first.
He had a
week.
great week this week though.
Yeah,
pretty
and
sure.
Kyron had a pretty poopy week.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first game with Brees, he
Kyron
cooked.
was
Yeah,
one of the
no.
guys that I was trying to say to trade weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. I remember you telling me that. Yeah,
And I said to trade for
he's
Olave.
just so inefficient.
But you know, he is. It's rough. The Rams' running game is just nowhere to be found recently.
Yeah, that was.
It's kind of fallen off. But
I get where you're coming from, Ortiz.
I definitely
feel
understand.
you.
It's like,
it
don't
too.
expect much from Kyron this week.
Yeah, my running back sit of the week is a guy that typically gets started, and he's pretty consistently been my starts of the week at multiple points. But it's Tony Pollard. Houston's the 5th best against opposing running backs in fantasy football, and they allow like less than 4 yards per carry. So,
I'm
oh
crying.
my goodness,
Bro, there's
no-
Boswell.
Obviously, he
Bro,
missed, bro.
they're
After
kicking-
everyone,
I mean, it's 58 in the snow.
no, I know, but just like everyone hyped him up last week, he had such a good game. He was probably like in one of my leagues, I made sure I picked him up because I saw him in waivers. Obviously, he misses the first one.
Yeah, bro. 58 and snowy, windy.
Everyone
bro.
was
Come
posting
on.
like the comparisons.
Browns money line.
The
Browns
comparisons,
money line
like
under.
what's his name? What is his Boswell has more points than Tyreek Hill. All these guys that they were listed.
Wide
up.
receiver 6, I think it said,
yeah,
bro.
obviously
oh my
he
God.
misses his first kick.
Yeah,
Um,
it's 58 yarder. But Tony Pollard, Houston Texans, he's a sit.
I'm sitting J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins
Not
is
not JK.
it's kind of similar to how you felt about Kyron. I just kind of been feeling like he was going to fall off for a few weeks now. Obviously, Kyron has already. J.K. Dobbins, he's scoring touchdowns, which is keeping him afloat, but the efficiency isn't as great as it was, and they're going against the Ravens. Kind of how I feel about the Commanders. I feel like this is prime bounce back spot for the Ravens. It's just a gut feeling. I know the Chargers are playing well, but like I feel like the Ravens are getting negative press with the media right now. Like they lost to the Steelers. They didn't look their best. I feel like everyone's talking about them. Lamar will probably just come in and shut everyone up.
He better.
Damn
Because
right.
if he doesn't,
In the regular season, he normally responds to this stuff.
he does. He does.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just saying, if he doesn't, things might turn on him very quickly. So
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's like more.
has- yeah, he
it's
will.
more of a must-win for the Ravens than the Chargers. So I think just the Ravens' defense is going to come out to play. The Ravens themselves are going to put up a lot of points. So yeah, I'm sitting J.K. Dobbins. If I have a better option, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
in
some
the-
people are just gonna have
yeah,
to start
in the one league I have him, like my option is Dobbins or Javonte Williams. I don't feel great about either, so
No.
I'm starting J.K. Dobbins there. But if I have, like I don't know what's a name.
Rashad White. Who would you rather start?
Probably Rashad White in this game. I'm not gonna lie. I think he has just more upside. I feel like he could. Shit, Rashad White could score 2 touchdowns
their goal
against
line
the
back. Yeah, I
Giants.
mean,
like,
He's the goal line and third down back now for them. Like I
Yeah.
mean,
like I
Put
think
it that
Dobbins
way.
gets
I
more
have to
work,
start him.
but
yeah,
Dobbins gets more work, but I think Rashad White's like just more likely to score. Honestly,
yeah. It's It's a rough one. Let's see. Who else would be in the area of? I'll give you a couple questions here. Would you rather start?
Like Brian Robinson, I'm
Well, yeah. Would
starting.
you rather start Rico or JK right now?
JK.
Okay.
Rico has not been good.
Okay. All right. And yeah, that's pretty much the only one that I would even consider in this area. So,
Yeah.
but
All
step
right.
back, receiver start.
Wide receiver start. Another guy who's been a common name for me. It's Roman Dunza. He didn't have a great game last week. It wasn't a true like pop out breakout like I think he had in week 3, but this is a dude just by the law of nature. He's due for a touchdown. Like he hasn't scored in a bunch of weeks. He's going against the Vikings. They allow a lot of points to fantasy wide receivers. Caleb looked good in the last game. Rome led the team in targets with 10. So this is a touchdown play, but this is a guy who, I said to go trade for him in our trade targets video. Like, I see a big breakout game coming. I think just history, he's that talented of a guy, and we've seen rookie receivers time and time again break out like second half of the year. So, starting Rome.
Yeah, my start of the week is, if you're not already starting him, it's Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is pretty simple explanation for me. Ever since DeAndre Hopkins left, Calvin Ridley has been hyper-targeted with no fewer than, I believe it was 7 targets in the 3 games he's played without DeAndre Hopkins. So Ridley is the guy with Will Levis especially. So a lot of downfield shots, and Levis has looked better. So I just think there's going to be a lot of volume. Tennessee is in a tough matchup this week. They're probably going to be trailing for quite a bit, and I think that's going to mean good things for Calvin Ridley. So, all you.
My start of the week is actually going to be JSN this week. Back-to-back good performances from him. And it seems if he could just be that guy over the middle of the field playing next to DK, just a good target sponge just over the middle of the field for Geno, which he's proven to be these past couple weeks. It's a good flex option.
You said JSN?
Yeah.
I think he's a wide receiver too in fantasy now. Like lock down, start him every week, not even consider it. Yeah, I agree. If you're not starting JSN, he should be starting the rest of the season. Like no doubt about it. He's obviously taken over for Tyler Lockett too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's clear cut. But all right, send it back. Wide receiver Sid Ortiz.
My sit this week is going to be the inconsistent man himself, Deebo Samuel.
I was thinking about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been horrible this season. And with the Niners' inconsistencies, doesn't help. It doesn't help with him also being inconsistent, 2 inconsistent things against a kind of steady, you kind of touched on the Green Bay defense. They're still kind of a steady defense. They're still reliable at times. I think the inconsistencies this week are going to show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the guy that I have as my sit of the week consistently gets ranked within the top 20 wide receivers in terms of projected fantasy points, because it has been a very up and down year for Jacoby Myers. Sure, he gets targeted quite a bit, but they aren't really very valuable targets coming from Gardner Minshew. And against a Denver defense that has been on absolute lockdown week over week over week, I'm not starting Jacoby Myers in any of my lineups. So, not that I even have him, but I wouldn't if I did. So, Jacoby Myers is my sit of the week.
Yeah. I'm sitting Jordan Addison. I always talk about that Bears defense, and they don't really allow points to receivers or quarterbacks. I think, again, kind of just by like my gut feeling, I said it about Rome. I feel like this is a little bit of a bounce back for the Bears. They looked good last week. They kind of need to win to keep fans in the seats for the rest of the year. Like, they really need this one. They're just so due. So Sam Darnold's been a little bit wishy-washy too the last few weeks. I mean,
he's fallen off a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good last week, but he's just been. Jordan Addison's been Jordan Addison's been blah too. Like he's been okay, I guess, if he scores, but how often is he really scoring? So
I thought he was going to be suspended by this point too.
Yeah,
I really did. That was talks for a while, but he's, he hasn't delivered on the promise that he showed to this point. So
I don't know if that's him or I don't know if that's like a Darnold thing.
He's put on socials that he wanted out at multiple points this season. So these wide receivers, man, bunch of divas, whole bunch of divas. So
yeah,
what's your tight end?
Tight end, I'm starting Hunter Henry. He's been a target machine his last few weeks. His last 5, he is 9, 6, 8, 4, and 9. And again, positive touchdown regression. In those 5 games with all those targets, he hasn't scored a touchdown. This is a guy who, in my heart, I feel like he's due. Drake May's playing some good ball. If you need a waiver wire tight end, if you have a guy on bye this week, it's the bye-apocalypse this week.
Real bad
That's what they call them. It's rough this week. It's a tough time. So if you need a guy on waivers, you probably were able to get him. So Hunter Henry, I feel pretty strongly about starting.
It's the worst when the bye comes, like a whole lot of buys come in the 12, 13, and 14 weeks when everyone is trying to make a playoff push. So, like, if you're a team that has no buys in that week and you're fighting for a playoff spot against a team with, like, 7 buys, bro, you are the luckiest human being on planet Earth because it gets real bad. Speaking of, for the bye-apocalypse, my tight end start of the week is Jatavion Sanders. I don't feel good about this. He's a rookie tight end for a Carolina Panthers team that we know isn't exactly good. But Kansas City they allow the 4th most points to opposing tight ends. And not only that, the game script should allow for Carolina to be throwing the ball a bunch. And Sanders has come on, playing more than 85% of snaps over the last 3 weeks. So super athletic dude. Quite the prospect coming out, and maybe, just maybe, he scores a touchdown in this one. So strap in, Jatavion Sanders.
So, I mean, Jatavion Sanders falls under my category for tight end starts because I have written down here anyone but Sam Laporta is good.
Oh, let's go.
But I'm going to go with a guy who I've gone with before, just Mr. Consistent, I feel, is Zach Ertz. If you're still not starting Zach Ertz at tight end, I don't know what you're doing.
Reliable.
Minimum he's giving you is 8. A minimum.
Yeah.
Last week he had a boom. He put up almost 20.
He had a boom
in like the last 2 minutes too.
There's
like
Najee.
that was
there we go.
That was a garbage time touchdown too that he got. I was at the game. I was in the car when he scored. Like we dipped. So yeah, that was clutch. He's been reliable, man. He's been cool. He's been cool.
Never really fewer than like 6.5.
Never.
And out of a tight end,
That's
honestly,
4.
you'll call it.
Bro, you
Exactly.
get over the
They'll
course
take
of a
it, so.
fantasy season, you get so many duds from dudes,
Yes.
star dudes, sleeper dudes. Like you get so many duds. So like to have a guy who is that safe and like it's never really that high of a ceiling these days, but he doesn't really like you never look at Zach Ertz and it's like damn,
You're like,
that's
damn,
why I
why
lost.
Yeah.
You know
You're
what
like,
I mean?
damn, why
Because you don't have
start Zach Ertz?
expectations for him.
Exactly.
Either.
Yeah.
Like you, so
Exactly.
Like,
if
you
you're
look
getting
at
that
him.
7-ish, like you're like, okay,
Okay,
that
good-
didn't
good
cost
job,
me.
Zach Ertz.
That
Yeah.
did not cost me my week.
And then you look down, you see he's like, oh my God, Zach Ertz has 14 points. Good job, Zach.
Like you're freaking out over that.
You're
like,
never
wow.
going to be upset at Zach. It's simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm only upset at Zach because I want the Ben Sinnott breakout, but you know,
Can't
outside of that,
miss
Yeah.
consistence thing.
you can't get him off the field. So
yeah, I like that pick, Ortiz. Zach Ertz is a good dude.
Shout out Zach Ertz.
it's probably a cool guy. So all
probably.
right.
All right, you guys know the deal. Drop any start sit questions you guys have for us in the comments. Any just updates on your team, all that fun stuff. We love talking to you guys about your teams. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel.
This man is just dumb.
In the
The
middle,
catches
yeah.
that he makes, it's just stupid. A 50-50 ball doesn't exist with George Pickens.
Yeah,
It's
that
an
was a good
80-20
catch.
ball.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all our socials, especially TikTok. We're always posting great content on TikTok, but some big things coming in the future too. Not going to say too much, but exciting stuff. So, all right. And with that, ball game.
Ball game.
Ball game.